Hello, everybody. We're going to give a little bit of time for everyone to join. All right, Georgina. Yeah, you can stay with your camera off. That's fine. We are going to start. All the other women will join us later, or they will watch the replay, and that's all right because nobody can always show up live. So before we start, we're going to move. And I'm going to share my sound. Wait, how do we do this? Yes. Awesome. So the feminine is in her body. She's very connected to her senses, her movement, her physicality. And so it's great to dance when you wake up or in the middle of the day to get the energy moving and to become present in your body. We are so much in our heads all day long that it's so important to come back to the body. And now we can take a second to ground ourselves after we moved all that energy. And take a big breath in and a big breath out. One more time. Good. Now that we are all very present in our bodies and grounded, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So this masterclass is going to last between 60 and 90 minutes, depending on your questions and how much you interact. Well, this masterclass is really for you, so you can ask all the questions that you want. And during this masterclass, I'm really going to share with you some very special knowledge that I've received myself and that I believe is really important to build a new paradigm in your life and in your business. And so I'm going to take you deep, 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 as deep as we can, because that's what I like to do. And our business and our life is actually just a reflection of how much we work on ourselves, how good we feel with ourselves. And if you're really ready to step into that next version of yourself and attract wealth in your life and magic, and we're going to talk about that today, and you really want to use all your gifts to serve the world and be really in your purpose and having a soul-led life and business, then I will be talking also about my group program, Feminine Alignment for Magic and Wealth. Because today we are officially opening the doors of this group program. Yay! It's going to be 9 months for women entrepreneurs that really want to manifest more wealth and magic in their business and life. But I will be talking more about that later. Now, let's move on to the juiciness. So, Magic and wealth. What do you understand when you hear these two words? You can unmute yourself. What comes in your mind? What image do you have when you hear magic and wealth? Don't be shy. Well, I'm sure you're having an image of abundance, of joy, of synchronicities, of amazing things coming your way, of ease, of flow. And that's exactly the idea. That's what we want to create. And so I would really invite you for this masterclass to take in all the information. And then we're going to do some exercises after where you can write everything down. You can watch the replay if you want to write things down. But the best for you now is really to listen and take everything in. And it's really important to understand that wealth is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. We are abundant beings. And when you look at nature, I love to use nature as an example because, well, I live surrounded by nature. And it reminds me every single time of how abundant life is. And when you look at nature, you see that everything works perfectly in a cycle. And the trees are going to grow every year a little bit more, and then the pollen is going to spread, and the bees are going to feed from the pollen, and they're going to make honey from it, and then we're going to eat the honey, and then there's a whole cycle that goes around. And when you let nature do its own work, it just grows and grows and grows and reproduces itself and creates more and more. It's expansive, it's abundant. I love to use the example of the mango tree, because the mango tree creates 500 mangoes a year. That's a lot of mangoes. That's more than enough to nourish a whole family. And that's what nature is. It's more than enough. And we are nature. We have forgotten that, but from nature we come, and to nature we will come back. We are part of the earth. We're not something disconnected that's on the earth, but we've forgotten that because we live surrounded by concrete and electricity. But really, we are that nature. So we are supposed to experience that abundance as well, except that we have received conditionings and teachings that say that have disconnected us from that wealth. Very simple example. When you look at Jesus or the Buddha, who are amazing spiritual leaders that have come on this beautiful planet, we have this idea that they were both poor, that they left all their belongings behind, right? Well, it's a big lie. It's not true. Because one of the uncles of Jesus was one of the richest men of Palestine at the time, Israel, and he was funded by women, and women who were priestesses who had a lot of wealth from the temple and that were using that money and giving it to Jesus. So Jesus was surrounded by money. He had a lot of money, and he could use all that money he wanted because it was given to him so that he could do his prophecy, do his work. And so the work that I'm passionate about, it's really unpeeling the layers of the ego, letting go of these conditionings and reconnecting with your feminine energy. Because your feminine energy is money energy, creative energy, sexual energy, underworld energy, desire energy. Wealth is feminine energy. And when you can embody that feminine energy, when you understand that feminine energy, well, you start to experience wealth into your life. And it's also from the embodiment of your divine feminine that you become confident and that your confidence blooms. And because your confidence blooms, you become magnetic, which in turn makes you attract magic, money, clients, opportunities, ideas, wealth. So you see how everything is intertwined and how deep down it's related to the feminine. And then the interesting thing is that magic, when I use the word magic, I hear, I see, and I mean things coming your way. Things that you're observing in your reality that you're not really acting on, or really things that are coming your way, like clients, opportunities, synchronicities, maybe connecting with your guides that are behind the veil. All these things are coming your way and you're attracting them because you're in your feminine energy. And so these things that you're attracting, they're the masculine. Magic is masculine energy. Because the masculine is the doer, the giver. And so when you're in your feminine, you allow that magic to come into your life. Because if you're in your masculine and you're the one that's doing, then you're giving the role of the feminine to all these other things. And the feminine is receiving. And so magic and wealth are really these two elements that we are going to awaken in you so that you can create sacred union and manifest all that into your life. So it's important to understand really the differences between what's masculine and what's feminine. I've given you a bit of information already, and if it's confusing, well, here is more clarity. So masculine qualities, it's really, and we all have that energy within ourselves. The masculine is the doer, the protector, the giver, the listener, the provider. So it's really that do and protective energy. Whereas the feminine, she's receiving, surrendering, creating. She's connected to her intuition. She's connected to her womb. She creates from her womb. She's magnetic. She's authentic. She is spontaneous. She slows down. She's reflective. She daydreams. She's connected to her desires. So, which list do you recognize yourself the most in? Are you more of a doer or are you more of a receiver, reflector? A bit of both. We live in a society that's very masculine, very, very masculine. And so because we live in a society that's so masculine, we as women are out of balance because we are taught that we have to push and set goals and have structure and do like the masculine. And the problem is that masculine is warm, hot energy and feminine is cold. And so for us women, feminine essence beings, when we are too much in our masculine, we are going to burn out because that masculine warm energy is going to come all the way in our body, bottom up, and it's going to burn us out. And so I love how even the English language actually really knows that difference between feminine and masculine energy, because it's just saying if you do too much, if you're too much in your masculine, well, the hot energy of the masculine is going to burn you out. So as women, we have mostly feminine energy. We also have masculine, of course, and we need to create sacred union. It's not just about saying, oh, the masculine is bad. No, it's really both. But we need to slow down. We need space. We need to be connected to our creativity, our intuition. But we've been taught that it was bad and That's because all our power is there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. But men have been really afraid of our power, the patriarchy particularly. And so that's why we are very much disconnected from that feminine energy. So now you might be wondering, how does that really connect to my business or my work? Well, your business, or even the way you are in your work, is a reflection of who you are and of the balance of these two energies within you. And it's really important to understand that if you have not explored your feminine energy, your money energy, creative energy, sexual energy, underworld energy, desire energy, if you have not explored, understood, and healed it, nothing is going to grow and manifest into your life. If you have not explored your feminine energy, nothing is going to grow and manifest into your life. Because the feminine energy is creating. The masculine is the one that's doing, but really it's connected to the desire of the feminine. And you need to connect with these desire with the feminine first in order to then be able to create and manifest all the things that you want and see the magic come into your life. So that's what we're going to do today. Because you came here to manifest. You didn't come here to just do and do what everyone's expecting of you to do and just be a good girl. And you came here because you have a genius, you have a purpose, you have some gifts that others need and that you want to express, because by expressing them, that's how you're going to have the most fun, the most joy, and the most success. And so the more you can be yourself, fully yourself, in your full authenticity in your business, because authenticity is one of the main gifts of the feminine, the more you're going to experience wealth, success, and magic. Now let's talk a bit about how we can step into that divine feminine and how we are going to explore that feminine energy. Well, in feminine energy, there's the wounded feminine, and then there's the divine feminine. And the wounded feminine, it's the good girl. And we all have a good girl within ourselves. And she wants to please everybody. She doesn't want anyone to be annoyed, unhappy. She doesn't want to annoy others with her emotions and her struggles. It's really the girl that's always positive and smiley. And she says yes to everything. And she negates herself in order to fit into that description of the good girl, because she's been told she had to be a good girl. How many times did your parents tell you, don't do this, don't do that, you can't scream, you can't be angry, you're a little girl, you should be nice and smiley. And we are really expected to fit into that definition of the good girl. But the good girl has never done any good to herself and to others. And it is time to let go of the good girl. It really is time to step into your power and use it wisely. And so the wounded feminine, she negates herself. She hides a part of herself because she wants to fit in. She wants to be that good girl. And she's always craving a sense of connection. So when she's going to experience separation, she's going to feel jealousy. She's going to feel needy. She's going to be a bit manipulative to get what she wants. She's going to hate being on her own. So that wounded feminine energy that negates herself and is needy, manipulative, lonely, was also playing the victim and so on. We all have that energy within ourselves. It's a collective wound, and we all have it to a certain degree. But the divine feminine is rising, like it's everywhere. I'm talking about it in my own unique way with the teachings that I've received and that I'm transmitting, but a lot of other women are talking about it. And there's a very good reason why. It's because it's time. It's time that we wake up. It's time that we rise. It's time that we become the leaders that we were always meant to be again. And the divine feminine, she is very connected to her power. And she uses her power to serve others. She's very compassionate. She listens. She's super connected to her intuition, and she uses her intuition to only take aligned action. She surrenders. She's magnetic. She knows how to receive. She is super grounded, super connected to her womb. She's really in her body. She dances, she's spontaneous. She's sexual. She's generous, but she can also say no. She's really authentic. And I want to really guide you on the path of awakening that part of yourself, because you have that part of yourself. You have that part in yourself too. That's your divine energy. And something that I've been observing, contemplating, and noticed with myself as well is that the bridge to go from the wounded to the divine feminine within yourself, that bridge is authenticity. That's really the first step. Because when you are authentic, when you show all of yourself to others, that's really when you are going to start to be magnetic. And the feminine is magnetic. And when you're magnetic, the reason why the two are linked is that when you are authentic and you're fully yourself, other people are going to recognize some of them in you. And that's how you attract your dream clients, your dream boss, dream partners, dream friends. The more you show all of you, the more others are going to be able to appreciate or dislike you. And that's fine. We don't need to be liked by anyone. No, that if you want to be liked by anyone, it's the good girl that's coming back. We don't want that. So the more you're in your authenticity, the more you're going to be magnetic and attract your soul clients, soul partners, soul boss, soul IDs. And the more you're magnetic, the more you're also grounded and connected to your body, which then makes you much more connected to your intuition. And then you are much more at peace, you take aligned action, and you are able to surrender much more. And when you surrender, that's when you receive, and that's where wealth comes into your life. And when you awaken all that within you, that's really when you become a sovereign being, when you are in your full sovereignty. And in my upcoming book, The Path of Femininity, the 6 gifts of your sovereignty, I talk about these 6 gifts and how to awaken them. Authenticity, intuition, magnetism, surrendering, receiving, and grounding. These are the 6 gifts of your sovereignty, of your divine feminine. And these are energies, frequencies, gifts that you have within you and that you actually already had when you were a baby. You are using them naturally, but because of all the conditioning we've been through, and because of the collective wounded feminine energy that we all have, these gifts have been, they were made smaller and they might have faded in you. And it's really by awakening all these that you can experience all the wealth in the world and all the magic in the world. But it starts with authenticity. And then you can awaken one gift after the other. And so today I want to talk about authenticity, and I want to reconnect you with the true you. I mean, we could do a 10-hour masterclass just on authenticity, but we're going to do as much as we can today. All right? So authenticity, it's really about being yourself. And the reason why it's so hard to be yourselves, it's because of 3 feminine wounds. And it is said that these 3 wounds have been passed down through Mary Magdalene, the wife of Jesus, the apostle of the apostles. Not that I'm super religious and that I go to the church every Sunday, but I'm very connected to Mary Magdalene, her energy, more in a spiritual way than a religious way. And Mary Magdalene really wants us to heal these 3 wounds, because they have, once you've healed them, they have gifts that really are going to awaken your full authenticity. And these 3 wounds, we call them the bitch wound, the whore wound, and the witch wound. The bitch wound, because Mary Magdalene was, we see her, you know, on a lot of paintings as that very nice and wise woman with a halo around her head. And she was much more than that. When you start reading about her, you realize that she was a super independent woman. She didn't want to be connected to any man until she met Jesus, because he was irresistible. And she was really just doing whatever she wanted and minding her own business. She had a very strong personality. And she was doing whatever she wanted, and she was called a bitch for that. And today, that translates in us as women who are always putting others before us. And if we dare to put ourselves first, to say, no, the kids are hungry, but I'm really tired, so I'm going to go for a nap, we're going to be called a bitch. By your sisters, by your mothers, by your friends, because we maintain these wounds within ourselves as women as well, because we all have them. And so it creates jealousy and a competition, but we all need to heal that. And so the bitch is actually a woman that's taking care of herself first. And that's actually the smartest thing you can do. Because when you take care of yourself first, when you fill your cup first, that's when you are at your highest. That's where you're at your best. And then you can give your best to others. Your cup is full and you give the extra to others. Well, I just had a bit of water, so maybe I should stop teaching the class. It's not full enough. No, but you see what I mean. It's really important to fill our cup first and then give to others. Because if your glass is empty, like this one, then you have nothing to give. You're just going to give emptiness. And you want to give your best to your child, to your partner, your husband, your friends, your boss, your clients. You want to be your best in everything that you do, right? It's a no-brainer. Well, it starts with yourself. And we have a really bad connotation around the word bitch. But actually, a bitch is a very generous woman. Because she's generous with herself, and then she can give so much more to others. So go around and be a bitch a little bit. The whore wound. The whore wound, I feel, is even deeper than the bitch wound, because the whore wound, it's really connected to the emotion of shame. And Mary Magdalene was called a whore. I mean, that's how the Bible describes her, right? She was a prostitute. That's the only thing that we know about her. And she was actually a high priestess that had knowledge, because she went to Isis mystery schools. And so she had knowledge of sacred sexuality. It's even called sex magic. And what sacred sexuality is that when you have sex and when you make love with these practices, you connect to a huge power that you have within yourself. I'm sure, and I hope it happened to you. I know not a lot of women have had orgasms, and we're even uncomfortable talking about it. That's why I'm talking about it, because we have to let go of that taboo. But when you have a really potent orgasm, you're like, oh my God, there's so much power. And you feel connected to a power that's within you, and you feel limitless. And because men were afraid of Mary Magdalene and her power, they made sure that that power was shameful. And they made sure that women were disconnected from their sexuality, so that they would not experience that power in the sexual exchange, and so that they would stay small. Because sexual energy is creative energy. Through sex, you create life. You have babies. It's working, I promise. I just had a baby. And if we're disconnected from our creative power, then we cannot experience wealth and magic. So if we're disconnected from sex, we cannot experience wealth. Sex energy is money energy. It's the same. And do you think it's a coincidence that the church was saying that it was bad to have sex before marriage? Because if we only had sex after marriage, then we would already be, under, in French we say sous la coupole. I can't find the English expression, but really like already controlled by a man. And so it's super important for us to reclaim our sexuality, our pleasure. And sexuality, it's not just making love with someone, it's much more than that. It's being connected to your senses, being connected to your body, being connected to your beauty, making yourself attractive, not being afraid of men looking at you because you're beautiful. Touching things, eating, smelling. It's really being in all your senses. And when you experience life through all your senses, you are really connected to that power. I have a friend who really does a lot of feminine embodiment, and she's really funny, but she says that when she's connected through all her senses, she's having orgasm throughout her day, because she's making sex with the tree and with the street and with everything that's happening. It's just a way of saying that she's connected. She's connected to all these things, and that she's creating with all these things. Because sexual energy is creative energy, it's money energy, and we need to explore all that in order to experience wealth. And we need to let go of all the shame that's around that sexual, creative, and money energy. Because it's very interesting. They were very smart patriarchy at the time, damn it. When you look at all the emotions, at the scale of emotions and the frequency of each emotion, shame and guilt have the lowest frequency. So whenever you feel shame and guilt, you really lower your vibration, you diminish yourself, you hold yourself back. And I'm sure you were shamed for wearing a skirt that was too short, a décolleté that was too deep, or for having slept with 2 guys in 2 weeks. We were all shamed for that. I was definitely shamed for that, for being too sensual, too sexual, too much in my body. But are guys shamed for that? No. If guys sleep with a lot of women, it's like, yay, good one, you did it. But we are shamed for it because it's our power. And they didn't want us to be connected to our power. So after the bitch wound, the whore wound, there's the witch wound. And I feel that the witch wound is even deeper than the bitch and the whore wound. And I want to work on that one even more today, because the witch wound, it's really the fear of being seen for who you are. We want to be seen for who we are. We want to be recognized for who we are. But we're also really afraid of being seen for who we are because it's dangerous. Because you could take the risk of being killed. That's what it was at the time, witch hunting. You could take the risk of being burned, tortured, killed. And it's a very deep wound because if you're on this call, you are probably a witch in a past life. And even if you don't know or you don't believe in past lives, your grandmother was, or your great-grandmother was, or your great-great-great-grandmother was. And so that fear and that pain, it's passed through generation. So it's something that you have within you. Either it's karmic or transgenerational, or both. And what the witch wound does is that, okay, today we're not hunted, we're not killed, we're not burnt anymore. Yay, thank God, it's illegal now. But it still exists, but in a complete other way. It's called the cancel culture. It's the canceling of someone. And it's gonna prevent you from sharing your gifts, sharing your spiritual experiences, sharing stories, keeping things for yourself, because you're afraid that people are going to cancel you. They're going to tell you you're crazy. Did it ever happen to you to be talking about something? I don't know if Ashley can join now. Yes. Did it ever happen to you that you were talking about something that you like, or maybe saying that you had a weird spiritual experience with a spirit, or really using your intuition and saying, no, I don't feel that that would be right, even if it's illogical, and you were pushed down? Did that happen to you? Because it definitely happened to me. And that's the witch wound. when we are afraid of sharing our truth, saying certain things, sharing our experiences, sharing our gifts, because we are afraid that it's going to be judged, criticized, and canceled. And also probably because it's a little uncommon. You think it's uncommon, but actually everybody has it. We are all super intuitive. We are all gifted. We are all blessed with a lot of wisdom to share. But we're afraid of being seen for it because it doesn't feel safe. And actually, the more you're afraid of sharing that special thing that you have, that gift that you have, or that thing that you like doing, the more it's important that you actually share it. The more it's important that you're seen for it. And once you are a bitch, a whore, and a witch, once you really dare to step into these three archetypes that you have within you that are actually archetypes of power, the more you can be fully authentic and awaken that gift of authenticity that's going to make you magnetic, that's going to make you more connected to your power, more intuitive, and that's going to allow you to receive more money, more clients, more wealth, more magic, more opportunities into your life. And you're going to be supported by the universe for doing that. Because that's what you came here to do. You didn't come here to fit in and just be like everybody else. Nobody came to be like everybody else. You came here to be you fully, whatever that means. And so we're going to explore what that means. I'm going to ask you a few questions and then you can write it on, like think about it, write it down, and then I want you to share it in the chat. Because when we share something, when we dare to express it, well, it helps to heal the witch wounds. And then it helps you also see yourself and be seen by others. And also because I'm sure that we have a lot of similarities. And so we can recognize each other in others. And so it's very powerful when we share these things amongst sisters. So the first question is related to the bitch wound. And I want to ask you, where in your life are you saying yes, where actually you want to say no? Another way of putting it is to I'm going to rephrase it, is what are you doing because you think you should do it, but you don't really want to do it? Because deep down, you're afraid of listening to your yes, of putting yourself first and saying no, listening to your no, sorry. And so you're being a good girl that says yes. If there's anything coming up, you can share it in the chat. I'd love to see what's coming up for you. So if you're afraid of sharing anything, Your names don't appear anywhere. And the masterclass is recorded and it is going to be shared, but not with your names, not with your faces. We just see me right now. And I can not say the names so that you are sure that everything is staying in this safe circle. Cleaning toilets, saying yes to sex sometimes. That's a very powerful one. And it's a really deep one, because every time you say yes where actually you mean no, you're betraying yourself. And that betrayal is going to be imprinted on your yoni lips energetically, because they are the door of your sacred temple of your body. And so you're going to have the energy of betrayal on your yoni lips, which is slowly, time after time, breaking the trust with yourself. We don't want that. But I know it's really hard, and it took me a lot of time to actually really say no when I meant no, and yes when I meant yes. Cleaning the toilets, yeah, cleaning the toilets. Maybe you can just hire a cleaner just to do the toilets. Friends demand a lot of my time and don't understand when I don't have time, and then get upset about me not being present for them. That's such a big one. And I feel like we have that a lot as women. And that's really interesting that you're saying that, because what I see here is that these friends that are asking a lot of your time, they're needy. And neediness, it's the wounded feminine. And so they are in their wounded feminine, they are disconnected from their power. And so they connect on your power, on your energy to feed themselves. But you're not responsible of their expectations and their needs. And so by saying no, you're actually gifting them with the opportunity to question themselves and to feel the discomfort. And so we want to be a good girl, and we want to say yes, and we want to be there for others, but we don't realize that we're actually taking that lesson away from them. And if they don't understand the lesson, life will take care of it, and it's just going to come back more and stronger and harder. And so it's always important to remember that we're not responsible of other people's emotions. They're creating their emotions within themselves. I want to stop working, but I have to work. I really want to take time off and do things for myself. So, what is holding you back from taking time off? What is holding you back from working? From stopping to work? What's the fear there? The world is going to keep on turning if you stop working, you know? And your son is going to be even happier to see a mama that's taking care of herself. You're setting an amazing example for him. Recharge your battery first and then take care of others. Okay. Second question that's more related to the whore wound. We already addressed that a little bit, which is, what part of your body awakens shame? Or what part of your life awakens shame? Or is there an event, something that you did that awakens shame? It can be related to sex, it doesn't have to. I definitely had sexual experiences that awakened a lot of shame in me, and that's the heart wounds. So there's healing that needs to come there. Again, this is a safe space. You can share it all. There's no judgment, just releasing what's coming up. Your whole body. Your whole body. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. Because your body is beautiful. It's a temple. And your soul chose that body to do its work. And it's not a coincidence that it chose that body, that color, the kind of hair, the kind of size that it is in. My breast, because I wanted bigger ones and got breast implants, but I feel proud of myself too for doing what I needed. How can you love your breasts more? How can you let go of that shame and thinking they should be something else because that's what society told us that was more sexy? Very oddly, my nose, but I think because people used to make fun of me when I was younger. Yeah. That shame is coming from what other people said and what we have led to believe that we have to be a certain way, have a thin nose, have big breasts, have a small waist. And we're even doing it amongst ourselves. Full transparency, I put on a lot of weight, 22 kilos, for my pregnancy to give birth to this beautiful Benjamin. And when I went back home, my mother looked at me like, you put on a lot of weight. Are you going to lose weight? And I told her, I am beautiful the way I am. You're just going to have to accept it. She's my mother, so she thinks she can say that to me. But that's how sneaky the whore wound is, because she's uncomfortable about her own body. She's obsessed by staying thin, and so she's projecting her own shame on me because she would feel super shameful to have my body. But I love my curves. I always had curves. And I know that my soul chose my body for a reason. And all the shame that we're experiencing, it comes from others. And it's actually their own shame that was projected on us and that we're carrying. Okay, the witch wound now. What talent or part of yourself are you not showing the world? Are you not daring to express? Are you suppressing? Are you even afraid of writing in this chat? Your voice. What about it? Are you afraid to use your voice to say what you think? Are you afraid of your voice? Are you not sharing your voice to sing? My thoughts and experiences through storytelling. That's so special that you're saying that, because storytelling is filled with so much wisdom. Like when you share stories, it can be a gift for someone else. There's this beautiful quote that says, your story is gonna be a page in the survival guide of somebody else. And so by keeping your voice down and not sharing your stories, you're holding your medicine back. You're preventing others to heal. It's a gift that you have, that you're holding back. And so thank you for sharing that, because that's really, I think there's much more exploring to do there. Because storytelling is so potent. Like Jay Shetty built a whole business on storytelling, and he's a multi-millionaire. Like he's so successful. My sexy side, same here, my feminine side. So I love that you're sharing that, because it's really connected to the heart wound as well, which is being in our body, being feminine. You know, here you can see a bit of my bra, and I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm feminine, I'm sexy. But it took me a lot of time to get there too. And how can I say it so that it's not too blunt? I don't know how else to say it. But if you're putting down and keeping small your femininity, you're keeping small your power. And you're giving your power away to others. Because your femininity, your body, it's your power. That's where you can connect to your power, to your intuition. And it's when you're connected to that and expressing it, that's when you receive wealth and magic and opportunities and have things come your way. That's when you're connected to your creative power. We're going to do an exercise after for all of you to find like how to move forward with that, because it's nice to put that on the table and to become aware of it, but I'm all about solutions and healing it. And Kura, you say healing. You're afraid of showing your healing gifts? Yeah. But how magical it is that you can heal with your hands and with your business wisdom. And I've experienced your healing, and it's really powerful. And we need more of that. But like the healing, that's like the archetype of the witch wound. And I had that too. When I started to learn to channel light language, I was so afraid of sharing it, of being seen as a weirdo. There's still more layers to let go of. Hiding under my weight, my faith is so important to me, but I don't always feel safe sharing about that. Oof, yeah. That's also the witch wound, because it's your connection to something bigger, and it's your beliefs, and it's your intuition, and if we go even further that way, it's your psychic abilities. Thank you for allowing yourselves to be vulnerable and sharing that and putting that on the table, because it's so important to put words and to see that we're all struggling with something, and some things are the same. And so it's empowering to see that we're not alone in this, and that it's really by seeing it and expressing it and being ready to work on it that we can fully embody our feminine energy and align with all that wealth and success and joy and magic that wants to come in our business and in our life. Because our business is just a reflection of ourselves. It's the same. I don't know why people make it do different things. It's the same. So now let's move on to solutions. I want to do a small exercise with you to help you move forward with everything that you brought on the table today. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. You can put both your feet on the floor. And I want you to visualize yourself in a safe space where you are sharing your femininity, your healing gifts, your voice, sharing stories, experiences, where you're expressing fully who you are. See yourself talking to others, showing that part of yourself to others, expressing it fully. And you can see yourself do that while being the person doing it, or you can take a step back and even observe yourself do that, being surrounded by others and doing that. And while you're doing that, while you're expressing all of yourself, being in your gifts, sharing your stories, being in your femininity, healing others, what clothes are you wearing? What emotions are you feeling? Safety, love, power, support, purpose. Notice how you're being received by others, how they're reacting to you, and how they're actually inspired by you. What belief do you need to let go of to fully embrace that version of yourself? What action are you taking today to step into that next version of yourself? Maybe it's talking about this masterclass with a friend of yours that you know is going to receive you. Maybe it's talking about that gift, that thing you want to express. Maybe it's wearing a really nice dress and feeling beautiful, sharing about your story. Maybe it's just doing it. And then you can repeat out loud after me. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be seen. My gifts are other people's medicine. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be seen. My gifts are other people's medicine. You can open your eyes and you can write down the belief that you need to let go of, the action that you're going to take. You can let all the tears rolling down your cheeks. And then you can write, it is safe to be me. It is safe to be seen. My gifts are other people's medicine. There's so much going on. Like I can see some of you, I can't see you, but I can feel your energy. Thank you for this. Thank you for your vulnerability and really stepping into that next version of yourself, because we need it so badly. We all need it. So, if you feel like it's time for you to really step into that next version of yourself, to really welcome that wealth into your business, into your life, welcome that magic, allow that magic to unfold. Embody your feminine fully. Let go of the wounded feminine, the hustle, the control, the fear, the neediness. And you want to serve the world with your gifts and bring all of your soul to your life, then I would really invite you, if it resonates, to join my 9-month group program, Feminine Alignment for Magic and Wealth. I'm really excited about this program because I have poured all my expertise, all my knowledge, all my love, all my wisdom into that group program, and it's going to be super transformative. There's some magic that already happened today, but we're going to do that every week for 9 months. So it's going to be really all about welcoming that new version of yourself and stepping into that new version of yourself. And so if you're wondering if this is for you, well, this is really for the woman entrepreneur. I know you're not all entrepreneurs here, but if you really feel called, these teachings are actually applicable to everyone. But I'm mostly working with woman entrepreneur. I really want to step into the leader that she was always meant to be. And so if you identify as someone that's spiritual, and I'm sure you've read the books, done the meditations, done all the work, but you want to go one level further. And you've learned the strategies in business, but you realize that it only takes you 10, 20%. It's actually only 10, 20% of the work. Like the work that we've been doing today, that's the 80, 90% left. And that's what we're going to do. Because like I said, your business is just a reflection of who you are deep down. And if you want to connect with sisters, like-minded women, and be in a safe circle every week where you can drop all your stuff and we can heal and transform and grow together. And if you want to build all the wealth that you desire and really grow and manifest the life of your dreams, all while being an amazing leader and letting go of the hustle, the control, the worries, all with the flow and ease and fun of the feminine, then I really think you're going to love this group program. So it's really a group program where I know that you're all going to experience beautiful transformations because I've already taught these things to certain clients and I've seen them go from making 2-3K a month to 150K a year and even multiple six figures now. So I know that if you apply all these things, you can experience that too. And it sounds dreamy, but it's not a dream. If you actually do the work, it can really become your reality. I've seen it so many times. And so we're going to work on awakening your divine feminine, embodying your divine feminine, connecting you more with your intuition, your authenticity, surrendering, allowing yourself to receive more because the feminine is a receiving energy, grounding yourself, working on your womb, also doing wealth mindsets, manifestation workshop, purpose workshops. And so it's going to be really juicy, really, really exciting. I'm actually really excited to do it. And the way it's going to work is that we're going to have 3 sessions a month. One is going to be theory, where I'm going to be teaching, mostly like today with a bit of exercises like today. One is going to be integration. So that's like more one-on-one coaching. We're going to come in a group and then you're going to come with the obstacles that you have in your life. And I'm going to coach you and support you with them. And one is going to be more of an embodiment practice, an energy practice, where I'm really going to help you come back to your body and give you energetical support for all the work that we're doing mentally, emotionally, strategically, and all these things. Because I'm a Reiki master and Sam practitioner. And like I said, I also channel light language. And so I'm going to use all these witchy tools to help you energetically really do that transformation and step into that next version of yourself. So if you feel called and that resonates with you and you're ready to invest in yourself, because you know that you can get that investment back multiplied by 10 at least, I would say, well, then there's an early bird. If you join before Saturday, you receive a 60-minute session with me where we're going to do a divine feminine in business or divine feminine in your life assessment to see where you're at, you in your life right now, you in your business right now, and I'll give you the support that you need. And I will also do custom light language transmission and light code activation for wealth, so that the work is starting straight away. So I hope you're as excited as me, because I'm really excited about this program. I know it's going to be magical. Do you ladies have any questions about the group program or about the work that we just did or about anything in your life that you actually want support with? I know we are way past the hour, almost 90 minutes that we're together, but I'm here for you. So just take this opportunity to get all my head and all my mind for you. I have to let go of the belief that I always need to be busy. I'm going to take time to be present, to think, and to be me. So my question is, how do I make time? Is that something covered in the course? Oh, yes. The feminine needs space. We need a lot of time to daydream, to connect with our intuition, to connect with our desires. And that's definitely something that we're going to do in the course. But now, I think that it's like you were saying it yourself, it's great to start by letting go of the belief and to rewire the belief. And so a way of rewiring the belief is to create a kind of affirmation that would be your soul medicine. And so it could be something like, I allow myself to rest, to give my best. It could be something like that. I don't know if that's exactly hitting home for you. You're going to feel it in your heart if it's right. But quite often we are busy because we want to give and do and prove ourselves. But I allow myself to rest, to give my best. I see you nodding, so it's good. And so you can repeat that affirmation, you can write it down, say it out loud as many times as you can per day. And I would really invite you to visualize it, like we did the little visualization earlier, because your mind doesn't do the difference between what you imagine and what you're actually doing. And so it's really going to help you bring that rest into your reality, because your mind is going to be like, oh yeah, we're resting. Good. Now we can really rest in real life, not just in the imagination. Thank you, Eli, for the masterclass. It was a pleasure as usual. Thank you, Kubra. It was super fun to have you there as well. Soraya, Ashley, do you have any questions for those watching the replay? Well, too bad you missed the opportunity to get my support. But you can always message me on Instagram if you have any questions regarding the masterclass. I allow myself to rest, to be my best. Yeah, you're right. Because the feminine is around being and not giving. Yeah, that gave me a tingle. Perfect. And that's the sentence that you need. Thanks for sharing your nuggets and always being vulnerable with us. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Eli. I loved it. I loved it too. It was really fun to be with you, ladies. I'm always honored to be able to share all this with you because I love what I do and I love to see how empowering it can be for you. So if any of you wants to join the group program, you can DM me, or you can, I'm actually gonna put the link here where you can find all the information. Yep. There we go. So that's the link, but anyways, you're gonna receive it via email because you signed up for this masterclass. Thank you so much for these 90 minutes that we spent together. I loved it. And celebrate yourself for taking the time to show up. There were more than 30 people who signed up for this masterclass and only 4 of you showed up. So congrats, because you took the time. Well, some people have other things and they'll probably watch a replay, but a lot of people just sign up for stuff and they don't come, they don't do the work. And so you're already getting much closer to that next version of yourself just by having been here today, having dared yourself, pushed yourself a little bit, being vulnerable, and you did the work. So congrats. All my love, and I'm sure I'll see all of you very soon. Bye.